You can create an amazing life. Do you have an incessant urge to become more of who you truly are? To start a new chapter of life? Are you getting a quiet nudge to fulfill a dream? Now is the time, no matter your age or stage. Linda wrote the book, Envision Your Extraordinary Life, living happy, joyous, and free, with the purpose to take you on a journey to create an extraordinary life worth living. Her firm conviction is that we all have the power to create an amazing life. Whatever your age or stage of life, Linda's hope is that you will envision, realize, and enjoy a life that is beyond your wildest expectations. A vision that will move you on a life path to be happy, joyous, and free. You deserve it. Her book will guide you step by step with tools, guided imageries, inspiring stories, and action steps to help you create your unique and extraordinary life. Valeria interviews Linda Hogan. She is the author of Envision Your Extraordinary Life, living happy, joyous, and free. Linda Hogan is a visionary coach, organizational change leader, business improvement expert, and author, dedicated to empowering individuals and Fortune 100 companies to achieve breakthrough results. Holding an MS in Management and Organizational Development and recognized as a certified performance technologist, Linda leverages her expertise and a proven transformation process to help you create the life you envision. Whether through visionary planning, executive leadership growth, or high-performance team building, Linda's expertise spans visionary planning to craft a compelling future, high-performance team building for outstanding organizational results, executive leadership programs to accelerate your personal growth, business improvement strategies for lasting impact, women's group coaching for connection, support, and transformation. As the author of Envision Your Extraordinary Life, Linda inspires clients to tap into their full potential and live with clarity, passion, and purpose. If you're ready to take action and design the extraordinary life you deserve, Linda Hogan will guide you every step of the way. Outside of her professional life, Linda finds joy in traveling the world with her amazing husband, Bill, sharing laughter with her daughters, Sarah and Anna, and friends, attending the theater, and keeping active through running. She is deeply grateful for her life exactly as it is. Meet Linda at envisionyourlife.coach. Here's the interview with Linda Hogan.
Aloha, everyone. This is another A Quest for Wellbeing podcast interview. And my guest today is one that's very close to my heart. For a long time, we have met before. We did one podcast interview, and then we had this beautiful journey of collaboration throughout, I think, in the last probably 3 years or even longer. So her name is Linda Hogan. She is the executive director at Linda M. Hogan Consulting. Linda is also a visionary coach, organizational change leader, a business improvement expert, and the author of Envision Your Extraordinary Life, living happy, joyous, and free. So this is my brief introduction about you, Linda. There's a lot more. The full bio will be at the end. But with your own words, how would you describe who you are in this very moment and where you are?
Hi, Valeria. I'm so pleased to be here with you. I am a spiritual being, and so many answers to your question. Right now, I am living an extraordinary life. I am in Chelan Lake in the state of Washington with my husband. I am a wife, a mother. I have 2 daughters, a friend, a consultant to Rolls-Royce and other companies. And what's very important to me is my mission, my purpose in life, and that is to enable individuals and organizations to create and implement a compelling vision for their future, and for me to live with love, joy, compassion, and connected to other people and to my higher power.
What's not to love about all of it? And I have questions for you and also comments to make about what it's like to envision that life that it's extraordinary, and how do we walk the walk per se. So that's some of my questions. But for now, I want to mention the title of our episode, and the topic is From Vision to Results, Leadership Transformation. So I wanted to make a comment about this. The first part of the title is From Vision to Results. I remember talking to someone here on Kauai about this, about my vision and all the Kauai Joy Lab, and all the, the steps. And I remember that she said to me, well, you want to have a vision that can lead to a positive result. And it was funny because my mind went immediately when she said positive results. I thought about happy ones, like, oh, a result that has something that has meaning, that has like this heart centered quality. So I went on and on and on thinking about the ways that the results, more than a result, will be like a feeling. So, but then she said to me, oh, no, 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 it's not about that. It's just getting it to happen. Just not leaving on only on the paper, on in your imagination, in thoughts, in words, just making it happen. So talk to me for a moment about this, like from vision to results. Do you, what is the, if you could give us a brief description of what that looks like and what it means exactly from vision to results, without that positive part that my friend just added to that.
Okay, well, I think the positive part is good, and it should be happy, like you say, and based on your emotions, something that's compelling to you, something that your intuition is telling you, this is what you're meant to do.
Right.
And so I take my people through a transformation journey, Valeria, and it starts with exploring. A lot of people don't have a vision. And so it might be just dreaming and looking at, what do they like? What do they want? What inspires them? What brings them joy? And then we build a foundation of, what's your purpose? What are your values? What's most important to you? Because like a house, you can't build a house without a strong foundation. Right. And building our lives, we want to have a strong foundation. Then we want to help people to chart a course. And so that's the goals, the steps that you're talking about, that you're taking now and that you have been taking for your vision. Along the way, we embrace the journey, and embracing really means to me that we have to let go of all the stuff that we've been holding on to that's holding us back. And, for some of us, that could be resentments, just the fear. As women, a lot of us have been taught to play small. Right. And to not speak up, to not take up space, to not be all that they can be. Right. And then what we want people to do is, I call it mastering your life, which is really developing your skills and your abilities to help propel you forward. The last is breaking through. And so it's a combination of all those so that people can become their ideal selves, their full selves, bring their full selves wherever they go. And I've been working with women on this for 30, 35 years, and with men too, but mostly women. I think that's my soft spot, I guess, to help them to create the life that they want.
Right.
And so people come to me for all kinds of reasons, or they come to these programs because they want to live with more confidence. They want a better career where they can find joy. One person in my group was working at a place where she didn't have joy.
Right.
And so she got another job, and there she's found joy. She can bring her whole self there. Sometimes people have conflict in their families or in their relationships. Relationships are hard.
Yeah.
And it's so helping people to go from reacting to others' behaviors to responding
Right.
to them. Because when we react, we're bringing all that stuff from the past. And
So true.
people want to show up more powerfully, to have financial security. And so one woman got out of debt, and she received a $20,000 windfall, which helped also.
Yeah. Yes.
A lot of women are isolated. They don't ask for help. Men don't ask for help either. And so working with people to identify what their needs are and to build a network. And it's so powerful when we work together.
Right.
We build on each other's ideas and support each other, like you've supported me.
And you supported me, right?
Yeah, we do this life together, don't we?
Yes, yes, yes. A billion times to that truth. Yes, yeah. Beautifully said, Linda. You always came across to me very wise, very heart-centered, and spiritual. Spirituality it means different things to different people, but for me, it's very simple. It's when we are able to kind of see ourselves in other, or see that everything is connected, that there's nothing or no one that's separate from our essence. So there's something that happens when we come from that place. From my experience has been doing whatever it is that's beneficial for this body, mind, and then for my family, and then that can extend to my community, and then to the world at large. There's something about that kind of says to me in a very clear voice that that's what spirituality in practice is all about. So thank you for your work, for being who you are, because that really reflects that understanding that I have from my own experience.
Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I see God in everyone, and in myself, and we are all connected. We're connected to nature, which is so wonderful about my experience right now. Is we're going through the national parks, and it's so wonderful to be with other people and to be with nature. When I think that I'm separate from other people, that's when I get into trouble, that's when I get into a bad headspace. And so I really need to have that connection with other people. My ego wants to be separate.
Yes, yeah. And that's always the case. And most people are not even aware of that. Like you mentioned about reacting from trauma. A lot of times we react and we live in fear, a lot of us. But there's this kind of misperception, perspective and perception about life and ourselves that kind of blinds us, right, from the truth that we are not separate, and that we call that the ego. But it's really the just this very simple kind of way of seeing life. It's almost like trying to simplify everything. That is that you're there. I mean, simplify in a sense of sensory perception too, even the visual perception. Oh, I'm here, you're there, so you must be separate from me. If I'm not in your body, that means I'm separate. So there's this misunderstanding about life as a whole. Okay, but this is I'm going here on a tangent, as they say, on spiritual topics that I love having these conversations too, and I can get very deep into it. I'm a student of Vedanta, which is a Hindu philosophy of systematic, very scientific too, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah, going back about your work from vision to results, leadership transformation. One of the things that caught my attention immediately is that you also mentioned that a personal leadership is a requirement. So it's something that's the essence. Again, it's a core element for to lead others or to lead anything. So, and with that in mind, I want you to kind of go through all the steps with me, the power of creating a vision, and then how purpose ignites followers, then goal setting, letting go and embracing the journey, and then mastery. So I have all these steps here. But before that, can you please clarify, Linda, what is the difference between, for those who are listening, and for myself too, the difference between a dream and having a dream and having an imagination, having a vision, I'm sorry. So dream and vision, what is the difference between them?
For me, a dream is anything that I want, that my heart says yes to. A vision is more specific. It's long term. It's out there in the future.
Yeah.
And it is a picture in our mind's eye of something that we want. It's compelling. It uses all our senses. So it's not just a picture, but we feel it emotionally, we feel it spiritually,
Right.
we even physically feel it.
Right.
And so it's very, very powerful. Dreams are not as fully put together, should I say. I mean, I've been writing down my dreams since 1982.
Wow.
I think is when I started.
Yeah.
And I challenge people to write down their dreams, and your dreams can lead to your vision.
Right.
Your vision incorporates your dreams. And as I agree with what you said about, yes, we need personal leadership in order to lead others. And it's very powerful as a leader when you can create a vision of where the organization is going. It makes people more engaged and excited to be moving towards something that is other than themselves, something that is larger than themselves.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. That resonates 100%. I usually say 1,000,000,000%, but I'll leave it at 100 now as the top. Yes, yes, and yes. That incorporates, that's exactly how I define spirituality. Something, whatever we do. So in that sense, it's almost like even if we have something that it's small, a vision that it's small, but it still includes everyone and everything, including the earth too. I say everything because the earth is very important, so that we include the earth too, taking care of the earth, becoming more conscious. So yes, that's a beautiful definition of a description of a vision, because it really aligns with the idea I have of what a spiritual human would look like as we evolve. So thank you for clarifying that. And another, before we dive into the steps, I would love for you to also kind of describe joy. It's a concept that I have been working for a long time, since I came across this idea, and it was 2014 that came to me as as a powerful message that I was ready to be joyful, to be happy. And then happiness and joy, they seem to be interconnected, but it's somehow it has been different for me. So joy means more something that it's coming from a deeper sense of connection to what I am beyond who I am. Like again, this connectedness to everything, to life as a whole. And then the feeling of gratitude arises. And it's really not, it's hard not to be well when I find myself in this state. And it seems to be something that it has to be remembered and cultivated too. So it's not in our habits, in the words that we use, in the people that we engage with, or whatever we engage with, what we choose to engage with. But from your perception and perspective, how do you see this concept of joy and happiness?
Well, Valeria, you embody joy.
Hmm.
And to
No.
me, joy is comes from a spiritual place,
Hmm.
whereas happiness is more pleasure.
Right.
Um, uh, joy, joy makes my heart sing.
Yes.
It just lifts me up,
Yes.
and
Yes.
gratitude
Uh-huh.
is accepting life exactly as it is right now, or accepting your situation exactly as it is.
Mm.
Now, when I focus on what I'm grateful for, I get more of that
Yeah.
because I see it, because I'm claiming it, because I'm focused on it.
Yeah.
A man once said to me, well, he said it many times.
Mhm.
He said, I make a decision to be grateful. It's,
Yes.
I used to think that it was a feeling that would just well up. Why don't I feel grateful?
Yeah. Yes.
But it's a decision. I have to decide
Mm.
to be grateful.
Mm.
So I wake up every morning and I say, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for my life, for my family, and sometimes I make a big list. Sometimes I
Mhm.
just say, thank you for my life exactly as it is.
Yes. How that's also beautiful to hear the way you make it very practical in a way too, this habit of waking up and being grateful, having that thought, and then the idea of choosing to, it's a very interesting one, because a lot of times I wonder where the choices are coming from. It feels like we have different places, right, that we can um it feels at and at some level it feels like we are just life itself, and it's no in life is kind of living itself through us per se, life, that this energy called life. But then it also very much feels like we are making a choice, and I'm wondering if that comes from stories, mental constructed stories of ourselves, of the world, again, informed by our perception of life. Is that something that you tap into it too with your programs, Linda? This idea, what stories we tell ourselves, and what stories we want to live it out in the world.
Yes, it's very important what stories we tell ourselves. A lot of the stories are lies.
Right, right,
We tell
right.
ourselves, I can't do that,
Mm,
or I'm not powerful enough,
mm,
I'm not ready enough. Even the stories
mm.
of our trauma, or our family relationships in the past,
Yeah,
we can rescript those
right.
and reimagine those.
Mm,
And I'm not saying that it
mm,
didn't happen.
right,
I'm saying that we can choose not to live in that story, and
right,
we can create a better story.
right. Oh, I love that. Um, yes, yes, and I have interviewed so many people here about that. Coaches, basically, they specialize in kind of rewriting. They have these very direct slogans, rewriting your story, reimagining your story. And it's so true because at the mental level, that's what it is, isn't it? It's all storytelling, really, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it feels to me. The body, it's very simple because it's sensations, basically. That's what I meditate a lot on, body wisdom. So I do yoga nidra, yoga nidra. So it's always about having our awareness kind of travel through the sensations in the body. And it's very grounded. It's just a beautiful practice. But then with the mind, it's a little bit more tricky and complicated because it feels very abstract a lot of times. And it comes and goes. And it's like sensations in the body. But thoughts are a lot more powerful in the sense that they can drive us to act, right? To action. So that
Mm-hmm.
makes, I mean, that changed the whole story of the script, whatever you're following, the narration you're following, then the narrative that you're following, that will make the movie. That will create the whole movie.
That will create the movie. And so I use guided imagery in order to
Mm,
help with that.
mm,
And so, for one example,
yeah,
is I have a guided imagery that uh, encourages the person to sit down with a kitten and to imagine if that kitten did or a puppy did something to hurt you,
right.
you would forgive it right away, right?
Ah,
And then imagine a person who you have a resentment against come and sit next to you
right.
and and forgive that person, uh, and then look in a mirror
Yes.
and see yourself and forgive yourself.
Yes.
We can also use interactive
Mm,
guided imagery where people might have two polarities, right? One is I'm the strong business person, and the other one being I'm just really afraid that I'm
mm,
not recognized, that I don't make enough money, that my work is not valued.
right.
And if we can hold the space for the individual so that they can have those parts talking to each other so that they can work out some kind of solution
Right.
of how they can get along, of
Right.
how there can be some peace.
Right.
Because I think we our inner selves want to move towards all that is good and beautiful and whole.
Right.
And so that's very powerful for to help women show up more powerfully
Mm,
at work and to uh, get rid of that imposter syndrome.
yes. Yes. And that's one of the things that I often not just think about it, but I speak about it, I write about it, I contemplate this idea that we have, that we all want peace, and we hear that quite often. People say, "I want to be happy. I want peace. I want this. I want that." But it's really a commitment, isn't it? It takes practice. So your work, it's beautiful because it talks about, especially the conversation now is about transformation. I know we have the leadership transformation, and you made very clear that starts with personal leadership, and that means doing the work, isn't it? These practices that you just mentioned, visualization, and because we can't really be what we envision unless we put into practice, right, Linda?
That's right. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
And that's why I take 6 months with people, and I've worked with many people for 30 years, so they keep coming back.
Mm.
And wherever they are on the journey, we can all grow some more.
Right.
Yeah, we want to move towards our ideal selves, but sometimes there's a part of us that doesn't really want to move towards our ideal self. And so that's the part about being able to embrace the journey.
Mm. Yes. Oh, wow. Okay, now you just got my attention again when you speak about this part of us that don't want to comply, don't want to follow the
Mm-hmm.
vision of our mind. So talk to me for a moment about that. How do you address that specific obstacle with your clients?
Well, in interactive guided imagery, we talk to that part of the person. And this is more a one-on-one thing.
Right.
But I also have some group kind of guided imageries, not as effective as it is one-on-one, but I can lead people to a place where they can see that part of themselves that does not want to move on.
Right.
And we can bring in a spiritual guide or any kind of guide. For some people, it might be an angel. For
Right.
some people, it might be a higher power, or it might be their deceased mother.
Yeah.
It can be anything. And we can use that higher part of ourselves to help work through with that part that does not want to grow, to find out why.
Right.
What's going on? What's the issue?
Yes. And I love that you bring spirituality. So that aspect of being, because a lot of us have forgotten that to be the whole, as you mentioned earlier, bringing your whole being to work or to life, wherever you go, it means bringing all parts of us, which is the physical, that's very obvious, and then the mental, it's pretty obvious to a lot of people, also the emotional, but a lot of people forget the spiritual component. So I love how you bring this into the picture.
I do, and thank you. I believe that it's important, and make no mistake, the work is grounded in research, and
Yeah.
that it's proven that our we don't our minds don't know the difference between actually physically doing something and envisioning it.
Right.
And so that's why athletes use visualization to help them to move forward. And we can also use visualization to help people become the kind of leader that they want to be. If they can imagine it, if you can imagine it, then you can create it in your life.
Yes.
And
Yes.
also, people are so stressed out and anxious.
Yes.
And so, how can you move forward or overcome something holding us back if we're so stressed out?
Yes.
And through guided imagery, it helps us to relax. And it actually literally heals illnesses, and helps us to decrease all those stress hormones of cortisol.
Right. Right.
And the research documents that.
Right. Yes. That's something that most people don't know. And perhaps they do. Some don't want to go deeper into it. I think the more science merges with spirituality, um, the more clear that will become, that evidence that um, that everything is interconnected, and we are, in fact, invisible beings. We are spiritual beings. So what we see, in a way, it's a reflection, right, of uh, what is out there. In that sense, what is the visible is a reflection of the invisible, and that's so clear to me because we see that with thoughts, right, Linda? That's we cannot see thoughts, and no one really controls thoughts. They come and go, and if we were able to control the thoughts we had, then everybody would have only happy, beautiful thoughts all the time. So it doesn't really happen. They arise, so that clearly shows us that we are being kind of, in a way, influenced by this realm that is very much invisible, and it's
Yes.
not something we can control.
Yes. We can't stop the thoughts, but we can watch them.
Yeah.
And when we become the watcher,
Mm.
we're being more mindful
Yes.
and at peace.
Yes.
Brings peace. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for saying that too. So we cannot stop thoughts, but we cannot also choose them, in the sense that what thought will come next, right, Linda? It's something that I have observed. Perhaps I can do that if I have practiced enough meditation, if I'm very, very good at kind of visualizing what I want to see, per se. Then it kind of becomes that kind of thought comes to visit more often. But then there's something about this, let's say, ordinary life living, day to day living, that we are exposed so much, and I feel very humbled by the experience of being human, because it's very vulnerable, isn't it? Anything could happen. You could get a phone call, at any moment, that somebody passed away, or I don't know, even on the news. I don't watch the news, but these things, they influence us, in our thoughts. I just recently, and I choose to be very quiet and to kind of have my own authority when it comes to what I want to experience in this life. But then I cannot control the fact that sometimes I'm kind of in contact with my family in Brazil, and then my sister sends me, let's say, something to watch, and then about Brazil, and it's something that's happening there in the news, and sometimes it's not happy. It's not a nice, some unpleasant things happen, painful things happen to children, animals, and then when my mind, my eyes, my mind are in contact with this type of things, and for days I can't sleep well, and I'm always, the thoughts keep coming back, like feeling sadness for the suffering in the world, for being in touch with that. And then I'm always asking the question, what am I here to see? Why was I exposed to this? What am I supposed to do, to see, to how do I respond to that? So that's a comment that I want to make about how vulnerable the human experience is.
Yes, you're right. Anything can happen at any time. I know people who struggle with health issues, people who struggle with mental health issues. The world is, I stay away from
Yeah.
local news,
Yes, me too.
this happened to this person, or, on a global basis. It's, I read it, I listen. I don't focus on it. I focus on what can I bring to others today.
Yes.
How can I be of service?
Yes, I love that. I remember as a monk who said, when I close my eyes, I am at peace. And when I open my eyes, how can I serve? Is the
Mhm.
words.
Mhm.
Isn't that beautiful? You just said that.
That is beautiful.
Yes, yeah, you said that in a, in a very spontaneous way, but in a truthful way, because that's the only place we can come from, right, Linda? When we are living the life that we have, that intentional life, that the life that we envisioned, as you say, then we can only come from that truth. That's where this is where I am. But I love kind of also being very open and receptive to the dance of life, because I know that anything can happen and a lot of things happen all the time, although you and I are not in contact with that for a reason, perhaps. Who knows? It might be even designed by life itself that we don't see these things, so we are not blocked, right? We're not
Mhm.
stopped. But there are a lot of a lot of people who they feel like they have no control of it, and then they're always watching TV, local news, as you said. And I have some friends that do that all the time, and I don't even know what to say to them. I feel it's so clear to me that their minds have been affected. That's how sensitive the mind is, but they are not really aware of the impact of those
Right,
things.
right,
Ah,
right. And their
that.
bodies feel it too, their
Mm,
minds and their bodies and their
yeah.
spirit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if watching the news is attempting to control it.
Ah,
I don't know, but I
right.
cannot control other things outside of me. I
Right.
was told to imagine that there's a hula hoop around me and I can only control my thoughts and my attitudes, my actions. I can't
Mm,
control anything that's outside of that hula hoop, and
yeah.
so I don't fret over what other people are doing or what they said or um, I take action to help create a better world and
Mm,
strive for social justice.
yeah.
Um, but I'm of no service if I'm focused on the negative,
Right. Right.
and that's where
Right.
our our goals are really breaking down that vision to, what am I going to do in the next year towards that vision? Then
Mm,
what will I do in the next 3 months, 90 days
right.
towards that vision? Those are my goals.
Ah,
And then what do I do on a weekly basis?
right.
What do I do today? What is mine to do today to
Mm,
help
mm,
move that vision forward and to help, be the person that I want to be?
yes. To support that vision, right?
Exactly.
Ah,
Hmm.
wow.
Yeah. So it should all be aligned to
Yes.
what we're doing today, and then comes
Mm,
our habits. So many people want to feel better about their bodies. They want to lose weight. They want to start exercising. And we all know when people make these New Year's
yeah.
Eve
Yeah.
um, commitments
Yeah, no.
that there are lots of people in the gym on January 1st, but by February, it's
Right.
back to the regular people who go to the gym all the time.
Yes, so true. That is so, so true.
And
What
so
a good
that's why it's important for people to identify what are their values.
Mm,
And then, do they value health? Do they value, you know, something positive?
yeah,
Um, and how are they living that each day?
right. So that brings everything together, right, Linda? I see that. So the power of creating a vision is the first step. being able to recognize that and in having the vision, and then how purpose ignites followers. That we didn't really tap into this idea of purpose, but I think it's connected to values, isn't it?
It is. It's based on your values, what's important to you, and what the world needs right now, and how that aligns with your skills and abilities.
Yeah.
So for me, my purpose is to help individuals and organizations create and implement a compelling vision of the future.
Right. Oh, yeah, what a wonderful job to have.
It is. It's a great job to have.
Yeah, to see all these visions realized one by one, you just kind of see
It's
them.
exciting. Yes, yes. I see people not have any dreams to go on and remember that she wanted to be an interior designer in her 40s and go on to live in Manhattan, go to design school, and become an interior designer. And have a business in New York for 20 years, and then go on to have a bed and breakfast. So yeah, it's powerful.
Yes, I remember that story. Yeah, it's a beautiful one, isn't it? When you think in terms of storytelling. So that was a beautiful movie that she made out of her life.
That was a beautiful movie that she made. Yes, and we all have that power to create that. And I ask in businesses, I ask the teams to come up with what's a vision of your future in your work area, and what values and behaviors do you all want to live by. And that increases the commitment and the engagement of people, and therefore increases the productivity of the company, and gives people meaning for what they're doing each day.
Yes, that's it, and that's what we need, isn't it? It's I feel like it's very much like the vitamin in a way, isn't it? It's like a necessary vitamin, an essential nutrient per se for life, to have a vision, because that's connected to joy, isn't it, Linda?
It
That
is.
a purpose,
It is.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, it fuels this let's say our actions. It really does. Amazing how I wake up every day with this excited about doing something that will lead me one will give me that one more step forward, toward the vision. And I know that sometimes it's important to be patient too, right? Because
Yes.
we work, especially when it's a big vision, when it's large enough. We have to. I noticed that with the Kauai Joy Lab, this vision that it came to me. So now I'm putting all the pieces together. Wow, it's a lot of pieces and a lot of people that I need to work with, and and it's a slow process at times. It's so patience has been one of the lessons for me.
Yes, patience is important. And you do have a huge vision.
Yes, right. Isn't it interesting? And a lot of times, the funny thing is, Linda, as you know, I started this podcast about in 2019. And then by being in contact with so many beautiful people, I call them beings, beautiful beings, it's just changed me in so many ways, at so many levels. At the mental, emotional, spiritual level, even physical. A lot of people with suggestions about nutrition and all that. I mean, I have met so many people that elevated my existence, my experience, that the let's say the quality of my existence. So, and with that insight, I just couldn't help but I thought, wait a minute. would be amazing if more people could be in touch with these people, people like me who needed this support without knowing even a lot of times. I mean, some of them I knew coming from trauma and all that, and I was in a very difficult relationship. So I needed that support, but I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't have the resources at the time, too, financial resources to pay for therapy and all the coaches and all that. So having the podcast was just kind of that it's almost like life itself was guiding me toward the solution. Isn't it funny? Because I see that in nature too. It's always striving to naturally to go back to balance, right? To harmony.
Yes,
So
balance, harmony, wholeness.
yes. So I've seen the movement that dance within my own life, like something that I really needed, but I didn't know how to ask. I didn't even have the language to express what I really needed, and then by being in contact with so many amazing, beautiful people, then it just kind of became clear and clear and clear to the point that the vision became, oh, what if a question? What if everyone just met these people, just without the forced, intention of even with the intention per se to heal, to grow, to evolve, to have a dream, to have a vision, all that, but just almost like casually meeting them somehow, somewhere. And then that's the vision of the Kauai Joy Lab, that we have a space with different kinds of healing modalities, coaching, work like yours, like you would have your own little dome, echo dome. In the vision, everything's echo, everything is earthly friendly. And then the visitors come every day, and then they just kind of choose intuitively what to engage with and just let the body kind of guide them to what they might need. And because this place is almost like a mall of they only sells joy, or it's
I
like,
love that.
yeah, it's like an open door. Yeah, they call open door, right? Yeah, like an open mall with that only sells things that will bring us joy, that somehow could ignite that fire of joy spark. So that's really it sounds very simple, but that's the vision. And coming from that, and then now it's walking through the how to get there. It's so the four
You're charting the course.
yes.
You're setting goals, and I look forward to being there with you in Hawaii
Oh,
at your
yes.
place. It's very exciting.
Mm.
So I know it will happen
I can
because I
see
can
that,
see
Linda.
it.
Me too. I
Mm.
can see that. Oh my God. I can see meeting most of my guests, perhaps not all of them. There's so many of them that I have that I've been in touch. Some of them are not, they're actually not in practice anymore, I noticed. And I was looking for them, like the ones that I interviewed 5 years ago, 6 years ago, they're not really there anymore. They had a
Hmm.
huge impact in my life. They were just incredible. I mean, uh,
Well, and
I
you've
was
had
one
an
of
impact on these
them.
2,000 or more people.
Yeah, I couldn't hear what you said before the 2,000 more people.
You have had an impact on these
Oh.
2,000 or more people who you've interviewed on your podcast.
Oh my God! And hey, that's the thing. That shows if that's true, which very much feels to me like we are impacting one another even without knowing. So that says a lot about this community type of vision, that we can work together, that we can kind of transmit what is needed, right, to one another. So
Yes.
somehow, yeah, even without the naturally, because I really believe in doing everything in a very organic, intuitive, and natural way, in a very kind way. I think that's what it is too, gentle, like nature, Linda. Nature doesn't rush anything. It's really, everything happens so organically. The flowers, they grow, they show their beauty and they die, but everything, it's so gentle in its own time. So that might be the almost like the essence of the vision, the core, that we become more like an expression of nature ourselves, because we are not separate from nature. So we don't need
Mhm.
to manipulate, we need to control, we don't need to force anything to happen. We just kind of come together and then magic happens just because we are nature
I
doing what
love that.
we do.
I love that. I believe that.
Yeah, and, and a lot of times, like going back to what you mentioned about spirituality, bringing that peace in vision, and I thought about even hypnosis, because a lot of people use hypnosis, which is to me it's a spiritual practice too, but in the sense that no belief, because you mentioned belief, I just thought about that belief systems or believing something is not required too, because that has been the the pitfall of a lot of religion, religions, concepts and institutions. There's you must believe me, or you have to believe this, or this is true and take it. So maybe that's why this Vision Joy Lab came to me, which kind of includes that piece of science into it, but it's which means it's something that we can have. It's self-evident in a way. Joy is self-evident. Once we become happy and more joyous and joyful, something happens. We become more productive. It's just self-evident. It does what it does out of its own basic quality. So it's not something that we have to believe in, like joy. I really think about joy in that sense. It's so scientific.
It is. It is. And
So
powerful.
yes, we're almost at the end. Gosh, I could talk to you forever or keep going, keep going talking about this.
Likewise.
Oh gosh, Linda, I love these topics. So, did we go through all the steps? I think it's part of the transformational arc in your book, right?
It
Or
is part of the transformation arc in my book. Yes. And so I'm starting two new visionary women's groups, and we go through this process as a group. And like you were talking about,
yeah,
when we do this together,
right,
we
right,
support one another and build on one another, and we become connected to each other.
right.
So we go through this process once a month for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Uh, that's all
Wow.
for 6 months. And the transformations that have taken place in people's lives is incredible. And so I'm looking forward to starting these groups in September. I'll have two introductory sessions the first week in September. That's just an hour and it's free. So if anybody wants to hear more about what it's like and kind of experience
Yeah.
it, they're welcome to attend.
Ah, that's wonderful. And that can be found on your website, right, Linda? Envisionyourlife.coach.
Yes,
It's
yes,
already there. Okay.
yes. And then slash events.
Oh, it's slash events. Okay, let me add
Mhm.
this here so I can have on the podcast notes. So the link will be clickable there, easy to
Yes,
find.
yes.
Events. So I'll have that specific link there. So envisionyourlife.coach/events. This will be on the podcast notes. And before we say goodbye for today, Linda, is there anything else that you left unsaid for this conversation?
No, I thank you very much for your time and for listening to all you listeners. And I'm grateful to have been talking with you, Valeria.
Yes, I feel the same way. Thank you so much for your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful presence in my life and in so many other people's lives, and for coming from this place of truth. something that you know it's true to you, and it's also it's reflected out there in a sense of, truth is very scientific too. That's why scientists are always looking for truth. And I feel the same way about spiritual leaders, spiritual teachers, or spirituality, that it must be the same way in that sense. We are looking for truth, something that can be is tangible, that can be evidenced in our daily lives. So thank you so much for being exactly that. Because that first moment that we met to this day, it feels the same way. Your presence in my life is has the same impact. It's very, very positive, and it's really beautiful. So thank you again for being you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll talk soon. We'll be in touch again. Bye for now, Linda.
Okay. Goodbye, Valeria.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Linda Hogan and her work, please visit envisionyourlife.coach.